Yes, here we go. Salute to Hollywood Unlocked with Jason Lee. This first story, the headline is former store employee sues company after being fired for putting hands on an armed thief stealing cigarettes. I guess let's just watch the video right before we even read any further. See what happened.
Approached the counter in a wide-brimmed hat. It's hard to see, but he's holding two knives. One still in a package, the other is in his hand.
And it's like with a knife.
By then, store customer Larry Wagner had stepped outside to call 911.
He was scary. And like I said, I wish I would have stayed in the store for Mary's sake.
Mary is Marianne Marino, the clerk, who had worked at the Circle K in Westminster for 18 years. She refused to give Weimer a free pack of cigarettes as he demanded. He simply walked around the counter and took them.
When he came around that fast, he was like right there, and a knife.
So before we watch all of it, first of all, don't at these grocery or gas stations usually like they have like a whole glass encased. You can't get behind there. You shouldn't just be able to walk around there. But maybe that's irrelevant in this particular case.
This is Colorado.
Can you just can we put a pin in this for a second? Remind me to comment on something, a recommendation after we talk about this. That's kind of relevant. So.
To this story?
Yeah, it reminded me of it. But go ahead.
Wow. Okay, I'll allow it. Okay. Let's watch the rest of it, Ace.
Freaked out, and I just went like that. Well, I guess I grabbed his arm. I don't remember that, but I pushed it, and that's when he ran out.
Let's rewind and watch again. That 3 seconds of her touching Weimer erased 18 years with Circle K, fired for allegedly violating the company's don't chase or confront policy when it comes to shoplifters and robbers. Circle K says it won't comment on pending litigation, but employees are told this policy is for your protection and for the safety of everyone.
I don't feel that I violated the policy when they're coming around. It's natural that you're going to, either defend yourself or you're going to react.
Salute to this old Marianne Marino. Is that how they said their name? So, I'll read a bit of it. In a surprising turn of events, a long-time Circle K employee... Is Circle K like a franchise or a gas station or something like that? It does sound familiar, don't it? Employee Marianne Marino filed a lawsuit against the company after being fired for an incident involving a shoplifter who stole a pack of cigarettes. Marianne, who had worked at the Colorado Circle K store for an impressive 18 years, was terminated after briefly touching an armed thief in an attempt to prevent him from making off the stolen goods. The incident in 2020 was captured on surveillance footage which showed the thief asking for a free pack of cigarettes, which Marianne declined. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole in and outs of the story. You have this very old and incredibly loyal employee. They experienced, and I would almost believe this wasn't their first interaction with somebody, with a shoplifter or somebody that's kind of, being this after 18 years, they've probably seen a lot. But in this scenario, they got fully caught on camera, and unfortunately, they lost their entire job over it. So I mean, obviously, I think we've heard of stores or companies having this type of policy, and where if someone's like stealing, you gotta let them go because like as they said it in that it seemed like they had like the company's policy up. It is for the safety of their employees. But I'm curious to know what you guys think of this scenario, and I guess those type of policies in general. Like, what's y'all takes on a story like this? Do you think? Well, not even the story specifically, but like, what's your take on when like people go above and beyond for their company? And do you think it is like wrong for termination? I guess we'll start with you, Wes, since you also have a recommendation based off this. I'm wholly curious to know what this story sparked your memory of.
I would say that for people who do not own their company, especially not part of the ownership of the company.
So most people.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. I if it's
Oh,
property you're
but
trying
you're
to
just
defend.
sorry, but you're just referring to the first question of like, what do you think of people going above and beyond like this?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
If it's property that you're trying to defend over actual people, like if there's people involved, I get it. If it's property, let it go. Let it go. Like it's not worth it. Um, but as for this particular case and being terminated for it, it seems a little wild that it went down like that. Um, and I don't know. I get that they're trying to stick to their rules, but in term and I don't know if it should be a necessarily a blanket case that people should get terminated for things like this. Um, but I do think it should be discouraged.
When you say discouraged, do you mean like the company should be like very adamant about it, or do you think there should be like examples of it so people don't do it like this?
Yeah, I mean they should be adamant about it. They might. I don't know what disciplinary actions of a company would make sense in this case.
Maybe
But
instead of an entire firing, maybe just a suspension
yeah, but
at the
technically
minimum.
an unpaid suspension, maybe. Yeah, I guess because I don't understand these paid time off situations where there's supposed to be a reprimanding. But but yeah, something like that.
Got you. Or just like a warning, like do we know if this was the first
Right.
offense or like?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that too. Yeah, like you get one warning or two warnings. After that, you get
Are
terminated.
demerits only a school thing, or does that term come from like other places of business?
Listen,
It comes from the military.
Oh shoot. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What was the recommendation that you thought of? Wes? Oh shoot.
Oh,
He's doing a super future.
something's going on.
I think no, I know your audio is kind of bugged out. I guess in the interim, what's your take on this thing, on this scenario, Ghost? What do you think of people when they go above and beyond for their company like this?
Um, I mean, I basically feel the same way as Wes does. Me personally, you would never, ever in a million years find me actively going out of my way to defend a store from being robbed, especially at spots where I used to work retail. They had this policy, and I'm not putting my life on the line to make sure people don't steal stuff from Walmart. To be honest, I've kind of looked the other way when people are stolen, but that's kind of a different story.
Jesus.
But as far as the policy in general, I do agree with it. I don't agree with the firing. I think that's too harsh of a punishment. But yeah, I mean, I kind of understand why people instinctively decide to try to stop someone that's robbing, because you, especially after 18 years, I mean, even if you're not a part of the company, like you're turning the profits, you still feel like you're a part of the company and that you've worked for them for so long. So I guess I
You're
can.
damn right. This old lady felt like this
Yeah.
damn near family at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's different. If I don't know what this chain is like. I don't know if she knows the manager or something, or I don't know what the deal is. But if it's a Walmart or something, it's completely different than if it's like a local mom and pop store that you know the owners and you've been cool with them for a while. But all that aside, I mean, I agree with the policy again. Shouldn't have fired her. It's kind of ridiculous. Even if she was actively trying to stop him, I mean, you can reprimand someone without firing him. So
So real
Just
quick,
seems-
because I've also worked in service type, retail type situations. So put me in your shoes, or walk me through it. If you see somebody shoplifting, and they're they're maybe even coming to your space to do the shoplifting, you're just gonna stand there and not do nothing. You're just chilling.
What you mean? Well, okay. Again, this is if I was at Walmart.
Because Marianne here made a good point. I don't want to focus on the story too much, but they made a really good point. In the moment when somebody's like, making certain maneuvers, even if you know that their intention is just to take something and leave, we're all humans at the end of the day. You might just instinctively push them back, or maybe throw kick, jab, roundhouse kick.
That is true, but again, it's like if they were like aggressively trying to do something and like run up on you or like give me all the money and register or something. If it was something like that, it'd kind of be different. But when I used to work self checkout at Walmart and people would do the not the to the extent of like the banana under the banana barcode on the Xbox, but something similar. I'd see people trying to pull some stuff, and when it's like that, I could not care less. I'm looking the other way. They can do what they do. If they get caught, it's none of my business. That's how I look at it.
I think I saw a story about that recently, about how like the most like stolen items when it comes to the self checkout is like meats and seafoods. I think that's what they like. There's like some data to back that up.
Huh. That's interesting.
But yeah, no, what you're saying makes sense. Are we back, Wes? You sound alright?
Yeah, I'm good.
Got you. Do you want to get up the rest of your piece before we move on?
To be honest, I don't really recall what the thread was when I was speaking. So I think I'm straight. Oh, I was gonna ask though. Did they mention, because she verbally told him no, you can't have this, whatever, the free cigarettes, and then he
as one would.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it's you give them a quick verbal, hey, I see you, like, and then if they don't want to listen or comply, I mean, as far as like, or if you think that the situation is going to get dangerous, you back off. I mean, I think that's how it should be.
Okay. If you guys say you would just chill back and not do nothing, or maybe you, in your case, you would say a little something, but I believe it. And what about you, Ace? What do you think of this story? What do you think about when people go above and beyond for their companies like this?
I think I'm on the same page with Wes and Ghost. Pretty much, shouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And I, unfortunately, I'm probably siding more with the company as far as letting her go.
Damn.
Yeah, they already did. Because it's not only that she did what she did, even if it was kind of like unintentional or whatever, or just like a reaction to the guy coming behind the counter, that's still a problem. Like, if that's how she reacts, just like, if something happens and her ability to control herself from putting her hands on the person goes out the window, it's still a problem. So, like, in that way, I can still see firing being justified if she can't, restrict herself from engaging and stick to the policy.
That's kind of a crazy way to phrase it.
So you're basically saying, like, even if this particular situation, like, it was like a non-factor because their actions didn't result in anything crazy, the company is probably looking at this like they're like a liability.
Exactly.
Which is unfortunate at the end of the day, because again, I think this is something that's not irreconcilable. I think even if you looked at this situation like we have an employee that it would violate the policy, isn't there a process like, okay, review use it as like a training or learning lesson for other people? I don't know. It just kind of, I think for what we're looking at, if maybe this is like the more story, I think we can look at this and be like sympathetic of it, because like a person that's been with a company 18 years getting fired for something that looks very, you know, like it was like I said, it was like a 3-second reaction turning into a firing. I think people are sympathetic of that, but I think if we're looking at it objectively, I think Ace is probably more on the right side of like you do have to, as a company, you have to do some type of action. But I mean, the story is that they're filing a lawsuit, so it would be interesting if they won this lawsuit, and then it would be, I guess. Well, I wonder what would be the how would they win it if really it's a matter of a company had the policy and then they violated it. But I digress. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, if there's nothing else on this, we can move on to the next story.
Well, that recommendation was a movie.
Oh yeah.
Called Cinnamon. It's actually on, I think it's on Tubi, and it was surprisingly good. Yeah, it was surprisingly good.
Is Tubi free? Like, I always hear about that streaming service, but I never seen nothing on Tubi.
Yeah, it's free. But yeah, check that out.
Give us the synopsis. Why should one go and watch it?
I mean, I don't want to spoil it. It's a black movie, and it has to do with a gas station and a robbery situation in the beginning, and it's just very good.
It's like a comedy?
No.
Oh shit.
No, it's like a thriller.
Damn. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do Tubi movies be having like people that we know in them, or just be like a guy that lives down the street?
It has Pam Grier in it. It has
they got Damon Wayans in there.
Yeah, Damon Wayans. Yeah.
Oh, I mean that should be the first person you said, but that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's a Tubi then? Okay.
I'm pretty sure I watched John Wick 1 on Tubi.
Oh, so they got real movies too. Wait, we watched John Wick together. What are you talking about?
Well, I watched it again recently.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, fair enough. I might ask you later for that recommendation again, so I can put it in the description. But thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next topic.